We will not kneel. All bow before Kifotep the Undying. Creaky gamers our goal.
Okay, g'day viewers. Yes, as you can see, it's the month of Tomb Kings. So I had a couple of games over Christmas versus Danny's Chaos Army, and it was a bit of a disaster. So I had a couple of practice games and thinking about taking the Tomb Kings to the next Warhammer 1750 point tournament. So after a couple of disasters, I had to settle on a 1750 point list. The Chaos taught me a couple of lessons, so it was good to have a couple of practice games and experiment with different lists at 2000 before I had to trim it down to 1750. So I've got a couple of reports upcoming. These were a couple of good games. I made a few mistakes maybe, or I was outplayed probably. Those Dragon Ogres taught me a lesson. So this is the evolution of the list, was from my 2000 point list, and I added a second Necro Sphinx to the list because the War Sphinx kept letting me down, although I did okay in one of the games. And I kept losing my Hierophant, so I wanted to do something about my Hierophant, and so I decided to stick him on a dragon. And in all my old world games, I have not used a dragon yet, so I painted this guy up, another leech priest. I put a little snake on his staff there so he would have the serpent staff, and I magnetized him so I could put him on a horse, so he could be on a horse, or he could go up on top of the bone dragon. It's got a magnet. There's my bone dragon. I've spent a lot of time reposing his arms and his wings and everything, and he's got a magnet on top, so he could just sit on the top. Then I had a spare howdah from the War Sphinx, so I thought I like that up there. So that's magnetized, and then he's magnetized so he can sit in there as well. So there's the mighty Kifotep, the Leech Priest, on a bone dragon, which hopefully when I get to the 1750 point tournament, he won't die so easily, and my army won't crumble. As per dragons, it's a pretty cheap dragon, but he's with the Leech Priest in there, it's only a toughness 5 dragon, but it's still a dragon. The dragon can do some work, but it's just mainly so that he doesn't die so easy. So I painted up him and the new howdah, and I think it looks all right. So I didn't actually like the howdah that comes with it. So there he is up there, and then it was the Tomb Kings month, so I actually bought some more horsemen because I wanted to run a unit of horsemen. So I've done these guys. They've got spears, shields, and bows, so I could use them, mix them in with my existing horse archers, or I could use them as horsemen. And a few chariots and so on that I had laying around that I hadn't finished painting. So I just wanted to get all my Tomb Kings painted. So that's why I got everything, all the Tomb Kings bits and pieces that I hadn't painted yet. And I bought another box of these cavalry. They've got a lot of character, these old models. I don't mind them too bad. They look all right once they're painted up. So I've just got to finish off them, and I can maybe run a big unit. They can have vanguard and countercharge, but they're still, skeletons on horses, so they're not that great. But anyway, I hope to give them a go in a friendly game soon. I've got plenty of them now. Probably got about 30 cavalry now, probably more with the horse archers, etc. So there's the cavalry. Maybe they'll see the tail. It's got to finish off their basing, get them on the table. All right, so the evolution of the list after a couple of disasters. And the Hierophant dying because he got stuck in with the my little block of 30 poison archers. And there's another 10 there. I might up the archers to 40. I think GW need to make a limit on how many you can have in a unit, but 30 or 40 is probably the maximum that I would run, I think. And there's some chariots, finished off some chariots, and I used some of the spare War Sphinx crew to make them Tomb Guard chariots later on, so I might try the Royal Host list as well with some Tomb Guard chariots. But anyway, so after a couple of disasters with a king and a unit of tomb guard and my hierophant in with some archers and so on, I decided that I would bite the bullet and run a bone dragon. So yeah, as you can see there, there's I think that's just my level 2 there. I think in this game against the Chaos, my Hierophant was on a horse. And the lucky here, the spawn doesn't quite make it into my level 2. So you can see my uh, Necro Sphinx is in a bit of trouble with Dragon Ogres up his ass there. So yeah, that was a highlight from one of my disasters versus Chaos. So I'll finish off those reports and post them soon. So that was my thinking. I put the Hierophant up on there. He's got the Serpent Staff, Law Familiar, and Talisman of Protection. So he's toughness 5, I think with 8 wounds now or something. So he might not die so easy. There's my Ushabti. They're 3D printed things. So 6 Ushabti. And I went to the mortuary cult list. As you can see, I've got to have a couple of scorpions, or 1 per 1,000. It's only 1750. And there's the big guys, the 2 Necro Sphinxes. They're the real punch in the army. My 30 archers with a standard. My level 2 and a couple of swarms, so I could sack those guys to cast spells. And level 2, I don't think he's got anything on him, has he? I can't remember. It's just a level 2 just to add some more spells. And those guys are my Necro Serpents, so you just got to pretend there's no riders on the back. So those guys can come from beneath the sands and terrors below. So that's the list. So I went to the mortuary cult, and we're playing 1750, so you can only have, with the Throne of Skulls restrictions. So I can only have a level 3, but I should be able to get some spells off if I can put some wounds on the Ushabti or the swarms. And looking around the internet, looking for ideas for mortuary cult lists, and I see, everyone says they're really good mortuary cult, but the guys that are running are taking like 3 level 4s. I think if you took 3 level 4 priests or whatever in any list, it would be pretty good. So I'm just going to be taking a single level 3 at 1750 with a level 2 to back him up, and being able to use the mortuary cult abilities, I should be able to get some spells off. We will see what happens. Anyway, let's go and have a look at round 1 of the Oldhammer 1750 point tournament. Right, well, and here we go. So round 1, we're playing against Chaos Dwarves. And I don't know if I had Chaos Dwarves on the channel before. And not only that, we're playing against an infamous internet celebrity, Andrew, from the Old World Fanatics. So a bit of internet royalty and an Old World influencer on the channel. So if you don't know, Andrew's the bearded one, usually sitting up the top right-hand corner if you watch them on YouTube. Go check them out. They don't know what they're talking about. But anyway, we're playing against Andrew from the Old World Fanatics. So we don't want to embarrass ourselves here. So I'm hoping to put up at least a decent show. We'll have a look at his army list here. He's got a Black Orc War Boss, Trollhide Trousers, Effigy of Mork riding a Wyvern with a great weapon. That's sort of a standard loadout. The Effigy of Mork is -1 to hit. That's one item I know about. And then he's got a Sorcerer Prophet, level 3, and a Mantle of Stone. I think that makes him toughness 7, I think. So he's hard to hit because he's going to have the default Chaos Dwarf spell as well. And standing next to the Wyvern would probably be -2 to hit if he gets that default what is Ashen Veil or something, whatever the spell is. So that's the 2 big beasties are going to be flying around, one on a Wyvern and one on the Bale Taurus. Yeah, okay. And then he's got some Black Orcs, the Black Orc tax that you have to take to have the big boss, the war boss on the Wyvern, and a couple of units of Hobgoblin Cutthroats with, they've got short bows, and a standard. And then he's got a small unit of Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives. And then he's got the Rocket Launcher and the Death Shriek rocket launcher and the Iron Demon. So that's the army list. So we'll see how we go here. All right, and then there's a quick look at my list. Kiefer Tep on his dragon, Serpent Staff, Law Familiar. The level 2's got the Amulet of the Serpent, so my archers will have poison shots. And then my special and rare is a couple of scorpions and a couple of
Let's go. Turn one.
Sphinxes. And then we go into turn 1, and there's my deployment. And I'm way out on this flank here with the Ushabti and Kiefer Tep on his dragons hiding behind the building because I don't want that Death Shrieker rocket dropping bombs on him. But there was nowhere else for him to go. I couldn't quite fit him, so the rocket launcher can see him. But luckily, we get turn 1. So my plan is to move the Ushabti up, expand their frontage, and shoot at his war machines or something. And then I've got my big block of archers there, 30 archers, a scorpion in the middle, and there's a hill in the middle, which, if you remember, it's worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. If you've got someone on that hill in the middle with the standard bearer, you've got 3 more points. And there's his Bale Taurus, the Black Orc, his Hobgoblins there with their bows, there's the War Machine, there's the Iron Demon, the Black Orcs, and then out on the other flank he's got some more Hobgoblins, there they are there, and the little unit of Chaos Dwarfs. And there's my ambushes, the Snakes and the Scorpion. So we're going to win turn 1, and so the Ushabti are going to move up. So I move the Ushabti up, and they fired at his Death Shrieker rocket launcher in the woods there, and we got rid of it. So that was a good start. I think maybe the Poison Archers helped out as well. They shuffled forward, and I think I might have had Cursed Blades on or whatever it is, reroll 1s to hit. And I wanted to get rid of that War Machine, and then Kiefer Tep on his dragon would have been safe to come out. So, and then I've just moved up behind the hill to try and threaten his Black Orc. So we're going to try and get on the hill and hold that hill and score him 3 extra victory points. So the Ushabti are good at taking out war machines and that sort of thing. I'm not real wrapped in them. They're 294 points for 6 of them. They can shoot into the woods and not pay any penalty or anything. So that's penalty. That's pretty good. The strength 6, 1 shot each. So on average, they're going to get 3 hits. And then, it's 50-50 whether they're going to wound a war machine. But if they get any wounds through, that's only -1 AP. They do 2 wounds. So their potential to do damage is worse than their actual damage. And there are a lot of points. So if you can get into them, you're going to get 300 points. So he's deployed. His last drop was these 2 characters. So we're just going to make a beeline for the easy pick up some points on the Ushabti. So they shot there and removed the war machine. And I might have done a wound with the archers on the Iron Demon maybe. But that was turn 1. Yeah, so what is it? Cursed Blades and the poison shots. And we did maybe one wound to the Iron Demon, and we removed the Death Shrieker rocket launcher. So I feel pretty good about turn 1. We've done okay. We'd like a couple of more wounds on the Iron Demon, but you can't have everything. And then we have a look at his turn, and he's cast that damn spell, Ashen, whatever it is, Ashen Veil, whatever it is. I'll pop it up here. You can have a look. And he's moved up there. He's just going to make a beeline for the Ushabti because that's a nice, easy points pickup. And with the effigy of Mork, if I came in there with my dragon, I would be -2 to hit his Wyvern. So, and he's made a beeline here for the archers with the Iron Demon. It's going straight at them. So they've got a lot of poison shot work to do. And the Black Orcs have already taken the hill. They've thrown down the gauntlet to my Necrosphinx and my Scorpion there, who were hiding behind the hill. And then he's just shuffled up. So I've moved over it, and he's shuffling up on his left flank. And so we'll have a look at turn 2, but he's moved up close enough, so I'm not going to get a stand and shoot with the Ushabti versus the Wyvern. And the Wyvern will be -2 to hit. So let's have a look at turn 2 and see what happens.
Turn 2.
All right, well, things aren't looking too good for my Ushabti here. They're going to get double charged by this monster combo here, with the Wyvern being -2 to hit because of that damn stunty Chaos Dwarf spell, whatever it is, and the Ushabti won't be able to stand and shoot versus the Wyvern, but they will be able to stand and shoot versus the Bale Taurus. But I have a plan here. So I do have a lore familiar. Kiefertep has selected Miasmic Mirage, and so he's fallen into my trap here. I'm going to be able to cast Miasmic Mirage on the Wyvern. He's within 11 inches. And I'm going to heal up the swarms. And then I'm going to put 3 wounds on the swarms. And so I'm going to be casting Miasmic Mirage with +6 to cast, because I'm a level 3 priest. And I put 3 wounds on the swarm. So there's Miasmic Mirage. So I go to cast Miasmic Mirage. What could go wrong? I'll roll a miscast. And so my plan has failed. I've been foiled by a miscast. With +6 to cast, I rolled a double 1. And then I took a strength 6 hit, which didn't do any damage to him. So then I had to salvage the situation there. I put up a column of crystal there to stop his Wyvern coming into my archers, because I want to keep my archers alive and shooting at the Iron Demon. With those poison attacks, it's the only way I'm going to get rid of the Iron Demon. My Necrosphinx decides to abandon ship, so he flies over the top to threaten the Iron Demon and the Black Orcs. So I'm just going to try and... there's not much I can do about for the Ushabti anymore. I was going to try and travel Mystical Pathway, and I probably failed that as well. So the Ushabti have taken a couple of wounds. I sacked a couple of wounds off them to cast a spell. And I've flown the others. So the Necrosphinxes have abandoned ship. They've just flown over the back there, and then I'll be able to turn them around, or maybe go into the hobgoblins up the back. That's what I was thinking. So that was the situation. So you can have all these great plans, and it didn't come to fruition with that miscast. I was hoping that the miscast table would help me out and get the spell off anyway. It might have just delayed the demise of the Ushabti for a turn. It would have been fun to get that spell off. But anyway, you can't bargain for the old miscast when you really needed it. It might have made him think twice about sending the Bale Taurus in on its own versus the Ushabti, so they might have survived for another turn. Anyway, the Ushabti shot at the Bale Taurus or the Wyvern. One of them didn't do any damage or anything, and so we're just sort of surrounding the Black Orcs in the middle. And so that was a bit of a bummer. So you can see the Necrosphinx, he's got the Iron Demon bearing down on my archers. The archers shoot at the Iron Demon. I managed to put a couple of wounds on it. So I think the Iron Demon's got about 3 or 4 wounds on it by the end of the turn. He's doing a bit of hobgoblin shooting at my Necrosphinxes, but doesn't do any damage. And then you can see there's the demise. He double charges the Ushabti. They're gone. So that's 300 points he's just bagged there. 294 for the Ushabti. And the Necrosphinxes are fluttering around all over the table. And he's reformed his Black Orcs to face them. And the Iron Demon didn't go after the archers. He decided to go that way to keep the Scorpion honest. So, and he's reformed. The Black Orc failed to restrain, and he ran and crashed into the building. And the Bale Taurus reformed to face this way towards the Necrosphinxes. So we're going to move into turn 3. And we'll see what happens there. So that miscast really stuffed me up on that Miasmic Mirage.
Turn 3.
All right, turn 3. So in my turn 3, I souped up the archers with Cursed Blades, where they reroll 1s to hit and everything, and we took the last 3 wounds off the Iron Demon. So removing things with high toughness is a lot easier if you've got some poison archers, I think. If I didn't have any poison archers, I think the Iron Demon is very strong. Same with the Steam Tank, those toughness 7 things. If you don't have anything poison, then they can sort of rule the table, I bet. I don't know. I haven't experienced it yet, but I know Steam Tank. I had trouble killing a Steam Tank once with my Orcs. It just ran over the top of everything because I couldn't scratch it. So we took the last 3 wounds off the Iron Demon. So that sort of evens out the points for the Ushabti and the Iron Demon. And then we've just surrounded the Black Orcs on the hill. I've got another column of crystal there. I was trying to block the Iron Demon from charging my Scorpion, but the archers did their job. and got rid of the Iron Demon. So that's a bonus for us. And this Scorpion ambushed on. We stuffed up the rules a bit there. We weren't sure if from beneath the sands could override ambush, and we didn't find it till an FAQ after the game, so it didn't matter in this game really. So, and then in his turn 3, the Black Orcs are going to spread out in a line, and he's going to send his 2 fighty characters around behind the building to chase my dragon away. So you can see there, these Black Orcs are in a bit of trouble. They've got Necrosphinx in front and beside him, and a Scorpion on the flank as well. And he's going to send his general and the Bale Taurus, or the Black Orc and the Bale Taurus, behind the building there to try and get behind my archers. They don't want to go out there and get shot by the archers either. So I think the Skelly Archers, 30 Skelly Archers with the poison, is pretty good. I can see why, any more than that's probably a bit strong, maybe. Anyway, yeah, so he flies the Wyvern around behind the building. I've got that Scorpion came up in ambush. So he's going to test out the Scorpion. If I can get the Scorpion into one of them, I might be able to get a killing blow off. That might turn the game around a bit. So he's going to risk that. He's going to put the Bale Taurus over there as well. And so Kiefer on his dragon is threatened on that left flank. So he's going to have to either turn and face them or bug out of there. He's still got his hobgoblins in both corners there, marching towards the hill in the middle. Remember, the hill in the middle is worth 3 battle points at the end of the game. So there's the Bale Taurus and these Black Orc facing off against my Scorpion. I have a swarm there with only like 1 wound left. I've been siphoning wounds off that swarm to cast spells and so on. So actually, I'm enjoying the Mortuary Cult. This is like only the second time I've used them, and I'm starting to get the hang of them. And so you can see the Black Orcs are formed out in a line. They're surrounded by Scorpions and Necrosphinxes as we go into turn 4.
Turn 4.
All right, what happens in turn 4? Well, it's crunch time for the poor old Black Orcs. I triple charge them with the 2 Necrosphinxes and the Scorpion. The Black Orcs are stubborn, so they're going to lose a few guys, maybe do a wound back or something, but they're going to use their stubborn. And then I send my Scorpion into the Bale Taurus. He's got that, Storm of Ash or whatever it is, -1 to hit. But I'm hoping maybe I can get a bloody killing blow off here. That would turn the game around, so we'll see what happens there. And then I travel Mystical Pathway the Archers over here to safety, so they moved out this way, so I can start peppering those hobgoblins. Because if I want to stop them getting on the hill, because you'll get 3 victory points. So I'm going to try and get rid of the Black Orcs, and then I've got to stop those guys getting on the hill. He's got swarming hobgoblins that are going to come and jump on the hill and get him 3 battle points in the end. So I'm kind of aware of that, but I've got to keep away from his tag team heroes on the monsters. So yeah, that's the demise of the Black Orcs. They'll take a couple of turns to die, and they'll fall back in good order. We're just working out which direction they go. Got a bit confusing there. So, but he's going to eventually kill that Scorpion, and we're going to kill the Black Orcs. And outnumber the Black Orcs, I think. Anyway, and then the Scorpion went in there, but he's got that Storm of Ash. Even with the -1 to hit, I got a couple of wound rolls on him, and I was hoping to get a 6, but I didn't. I think I rolled a 5 for one of them or something. And then the Bale Taurus, the guy on the back, kills the Scorpion. So I didn't have... Well, I would have been very lucky if I'd killed him, but I had to have a go. If you had to get a go with a Scorpion... I never seem to do it, but I try. I'm going for that one day I'll do that killing blow or monster slayer thing. And so at the end of this, his turn, the Black Orcs are going to die, and the Necrosphinxes will be pretty happy with themselves in the middle of the table. And then he's just going to send his characters. There's the Necrosphinxes. Look at them, 2 of them there. They look pretty happy with themselves. The Scorpion died, but the Black Orcs are gone. So... we're doing okay. I can't go into his characters with the -2 to hit on the Wyvern. So we're going to decline going in there, I think. Let's have a look what happens in turn 5.
Turn 5.
All right then, turn 5. This is ending up a long report. So because of that Ash spell, -1 to hit and so on, my Necro-Sphinxes, who were pretty happy with themselves after killing the Black Orcs and claiming a standard for one of them, I guess, they declined to charge against the Black Orc or the Bale Taurus sorcerer guy, so they just move up, get out of the arc of his 2 monster heroes there. Kiefer is over there trying to kill some of those dwarves by doing a breath weapon on them. I thought I might try that for a bit of fun. He finally fails to get that spell off on turn 5, but it was too late. I'm not going in there. Then his hobgoblins are going to get on the hill in the middle. And then the other thing is that I stuffed up. I didn't know my own rules, but they were coming on turn 5. The snakes finally came on. But I really wanted to use From Beneath the Sands to put the Terrors Below initiative test on those dwarves. But they had ruled, we didn't find out, for the FAQ clarifies it, that you can use From Beneath the Sands even if you pass the ambush roll. So if they are ambushing on, if you've still got them in reserve, you can still use From Beneath the Sands and Terrors Below. So that might have helped, but not too much. Might have just killed a few dwarves with an initiative test. But that's pretty much the end of the game, really. There's not going to be any more combat from his 2 combat characters. I travel Mystical Pathway my archers away from them because they would have been murdered on the hill probably. So we're going to give up the 3 battle points because he's going to get his goblins onto the hill. And I just fly around and try and tempt a charge from his Black Orc. Maybe he can go into the dragon because Kiefer on his dragon hasn't swung a blow yet. He's just been casting a few spells and miscasting at inappropriate times. But that's pretty much the end of turn 5. I'm going to get out of the way of his combo charge in the middle there with the dragon. We'll have a look at what happens on turn 6. Here we go.
Final round. Turn 6.
Yep, so in turn 6, Kiefer on his dragon just throws down the gauntlet to the Black Orc, and he claims the hill, and my snakes sort of move back so they don't get charged and give up their points, as I figure I might be just ahead on points. So the snakes survive the game. They spent all game off the table, and he came on turn 5. And that's the end of the game, really. So he gets an extra 3 points for the centre of the table. So the battle ends up a victory on battle points before that 3 points. 11-9 to the Tomb Kings. And then with the 3 points on the hill, the Chaos Dwarves end up winning 12-11 after all that. So, pretty close game. So, I was pretty happy with the result. I didn't want to have a big win and then be facing Bretonians on round 2, I guess. So, a narrow loss on game 1 versus the Old World Fanatics. So, the Old World Fanatics have bragging rights for this round. Hopefully, we get them back again sometime. And stay tuned for round 2, where we're facing Wood Elves on Battle for the Pass. So a long ways battle versus lots of shooting Wood Elves. So see if the Tomb Kings can handle that. All right, so thanks for watching. Victory to the Old World Fanatics. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Well, that was different.
Yep, lousy, but different.